We are storytellers with sound.
I can't sit in silence. There has to be music, and it pushes me to do things that I probably would never have considered doing before.
Hello everybody, my name is DJ Lognesi, and you are sailing the sound waves, the man behind the music. We are joined here by the Classic Rock Odyssey, which is one of the most amazing bands in SLO County. They have taken over, and they are based in Arroyo Grande. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourselves?
Hey, my name's David Apodaca. I'm the band leader.
Oh, yay!
Hi, I'm Darlene Acevedo. I'm the lead singer.
Oh, wonderful. Darlene and Dave, because I was their intern for a little while, so we go way back. And John, where are you?
I'm right here.
Oh, well, hello, John.
John's our bass player, John Harrison.
I am John. I'm the bassist.
So wait, how are you guys doing today?
We're doing good.
Awesome. That's great to hear.
Doing great. So happy to be here.
Wonderful. Okay, so, let's dive into the questions, shall we? Today, we are going to be asking them about their EP release, which is, their band is the Classic Rock Odyssey, and the music that they play is all classic rock cover bands. Now, what I want to ask first is what made you decide to go into classic rock? What made you decide on that? Was it a group decision, or did you guys just find each other because you were originally part of other classic rock bands? Like, were you experimenting a little bit?
No, I started the band in 2015, and I decided, hey, you know what? I'm going to have me some fun. So I started looking for musicians, and I had people come in and audition. I gave them a test. I gave them 10 songs to learn. They would come back in and jam. We would jam on those 10 songs. And if it meshed and we felt good, they joined the band. And so I've had players come and go over the years. Some would come in for a year or 2 or 3 and then move on, and I'd audition another player and they'd come in. So right now we have Donnie Cadavallo. He's one of our lead guitar players. He sings backup. I play lead and I sing backup, and Darlene sings lead, and she also plays an electronic pad and plays harmonica. Plays some percussions. John's been in and out of the band. He had to step out for personal reasons, and then he came back. We're so glad to have John Harrison back on bass. He also sings backup vocals. Darlene, introduce the other band members.
Yeah, we have a lead male vocalist. His name is Brian Tippett, and he's been with us for a little over a year and is now a permanent member of the band. We have Chad Fortin, who's our drummer, who's been with us since 2020 and is super awesome. And we also have Charlie, who's our keyboardist, with us. She's been with us for quite a while as well. And we have a sax player kind of come in and out and join us at different shows.
Richard's going to join us on November 2nd. We'll talk about the upcoming concerts, but he actually he's played in Sound Investment in other bands, and he's starting to gig with us. So we look forward to that. Really a full, complete sound where we can play any song from the early 70s all the way into the 90s. We want to cover every band and every instrument. We like to play the authentic sound where we play it identical. We want to bring people back to that time period where we all had a great time listening to Journey and Pat Benatar and Tom Petty, all of those bands. So that's our lineup. Those are the bands I was in college in the 80s. Those are the bands that I used to go see. And so now, in 2015, I said, hey, I'm going to have me some fun like back in the 80s. And I'm having that. I'm having a great time playing all over the Central Coast. We play everywhere. We play at all the city concerts for Grover Beach, Atascadero, where we play for some of the other locations. Where do we play at, Darlene?
Mm-hmm. So we also play in Santa Maria, Cottonwood Canyon. We've done that venue for a couple times. We actually have a show coming up at Cottonwood Canyon on November 2nd. We've done, so you mentioned Grover Beach. Mulligan's in Avila. Love that spot. Such a great spot. Avila Beach Golf Resort. We've played at Mr. Rick's. We've played at the Elks Club in Santa Maria, the Elks Club in Oceano. So just great people here on the Central Coast that love live music.
We'll play in your backyard if you want us to.
Yeah,
we're ready to play. So
I wanted to mention that John said he couldn't hear us in the Zoom. Just wanted to mention that because we don't want to lose John.
John, can you hear us? Have you been able to hear us?
I can hear you crystal clear, but I can't hear David or Darlene. They sound like they're underwater.
They do.
We can hear John really well.
Yeah.
Okay, let me see if I can. So
I hear a lot of banging going on too, so I'm like, oh, okay, I'm not sure what's happening.
Oh, man.
It's all right. Sometimes this stuff happens. So, how about now? Can you hear them a little bit better now?
Hey, John.
Say something, guys.
Okay. Man, glad to have you. John just celebrated a birthday this week. He just turned 50.
Nothing.
And we had a wild party, man. It was great.
It was a surprise birthday party, if you can believe it.
I believe it. You guys are party animals. You should have seen them at Cottonwood Canyon.
Work hard, play hard. Yeah, we do it.
Oh, we also play at the Merrymaker in Los Osos, and that is such a fun venue as well. We're going to play there again next year.
We love being all over the Central
anywhere.
Coast. But we would like to get out of the area, and that's one of our goals is coming probably next year, is to go down and play in Santa Barbara, maybe go up to the Bay Area. Would love to go into Vegas and Reno and just get out of the area. Unless we get fully booked up in the Central Coast and all the venues want us to stay here, we'll stay.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds awesome. Sorry, I was messing with my camera. It's just... I wanted people to be able to see me, but it's okay. They can only see you guys right now, and also just a picture of the beautiful Classic Rock logo. So what made you guys decide on that logo? What was the decision for that? I have that up. The audience can see it.
We actually have a few different logos. I think that one you have up is the most recent one from Chad, whose bass drum that has the picture on the front. He's had a few different renditions, and our original name is actually Rock Odyssey, but because that is a musical, I guess, that was formed in the past, everything that we have as our name from our website to our Facebook to our Instagram has to be Classic Rock Odyssey, because we can't just be Rock Odyssey. And Chad just kind of took that and ran with it. And so he made CRO as the acronym, and so it's kind of like a crow or a bird or a phoenix, if you will. We kind of went with the phoenix with the fire kind of coming up from the ashes sort of idea. And so he actually had a friend make that logo for us.
We actually, early on, the early band had 124 names to choose. And we took a vote and whittled it down to like 12. Took another vote, whittled it down to 4, and then we all voted, and then it became Rock Odyssey. We could have been Resilient. There was so many names to choose from, but we all voted. Mm-hmm. We came up with Rock Odyssey, which was a journey through rock music, is what we want to bring the audience, or have the audience experience. Just music of a time period we all enjoyed, we danced to, maybe we cried to, and I've seen so many people just overjoyed with hearing their favorite tune come out of the band. Like if we play an AC/DC song, people will jump up and start dancing, or whatever. It might be Stevie Nicks or Fleetwood Mac or whatever song it is. I see it just brings a smile to people's faces. They don't believe it. Sometimes we'll play a Cyndi Lauper song and somebody will say, I can't believe you played that song. I love that song. Whether it's Time After Time or Girls Just Want to Have Fun. Yeah, we play a lot of music and we really enjoy it.
That's awesome. The song that you guys played that I really loved, now I didn't tell you this, and this may seem a bit controversial, but it was Joan Jett you played. It was that one song by Joan Jett. What is it?
I Hate Myself for Loving You.
Well, that's also a one, but it's I Love Rock and Roll.
I love rock and roll.
That's the one.
Yes.
I love the way that you performed.
I remember watching that on MTV when it first came out, and that I definitely we got to have that song in our repertoire, so we put that song in there.
Yeah, I mean, I have you and John and the logo right above you. And so you, audience, can see that. And if you want to see, and you're listening on the radio and you can't really, it is available on their website. Now, tell me about the link to your website, and also, how did it become to be? How long have you had this band? And when you finally got the website, how did it feel? Like, what are they going to see when they go to the website? That's for sure. I want to know.
So we're at www.classicrockodyssey.com. And on there we have just kind of where we've been in the last year or so, where our different performances have been. We have some YouTube videos on there, the most up-to-date pictures from our gigs over the summer. We have song lists of what's in our repertoire. We have over 100 songs in our repertoire, so people can take a look at that. We also have photos, and we have an electronic press kit on there as well that makes it easy for folks, venues, and other booking agencies to take a look at what we have to offer. There's YouTube and Instagram and Facebook links on there as well, so people can check us out and follow us on our website. We also try to post where we're playing next on our website, and people can join our newsletter listserv, so they can always get kind of up to date. If they would rather not do the socials, if that's not their thing, then we can send them a newsletter about where we're playing next.
Yeah. One of the reasons why I wanted to be your intern so much is because I get to help you with social media. But when I started with you guys, I realized you don't really need my help very much. You guys just have it down. You have it down. John, do you contribute to the social media at all?
Not so much now. I used to a long time ago, but I am kind of hands off because I have so much going on.
Darlene does it, and Darlene actually works for Career Connections at Cuesta. Now let me just adjust my little camera there. Now you can see
There they are.
Darlene in the background. Hi. You can see they're
There's my-
here. That's what I want you guys.
family.
Yeah, you can see us now.
And so you can see on my camera on OBS there, actually, we have the lower everything. So the audience can see everybody now. So wave hello. But I am going to make
Hello.
the focus, John, because we just love your beautiful face. So now you are going to be the focus. But know that I am here. I exist. I want you guys to tell me everything. Now, what is the song that you guys would say, chemistry-wise, is your favorite to perform? Your most favorite song that you, as a group, as a band, and I know that you guys all have different opinions on the songs. You guys have your favorite parts because certain songs that you do, they will focus on different instruments. Like one song is heavy on the piano, other songs are heavy on the electric guitar. Which song would you say altogether you agree is the best?
Well, I think we all have a different choice. I like "Stop Dragging My Heart Around" by Tom Petty and.
Oh, I love that one. I
know,
love Tom Petty so much.
So Stevie Nicks, because Darlene and Brian are singing duets, so everybody's involved.
Yeah.
So I love it when we have the duets. It gets everyone involved and it's exciting. How about you, Darlene?
One of my favorites is "Walking in LA." I love that one because we've a lot of keys in there, and I love keys, but also there's a lot of participation from the whole band. There's a lot of repeat, back and forth, people in the chorus, and we can all participate singing and backing each other up. And it has such a great energy, so I really love performing that one. What about John?
John, what do you think? John,
Did we lose John?
Oh, no.
Can you hear us?
I hear you perfectly fine. I can't hear whoever else is talking.
Okay.
So, what's the question? Yeah, it's weird. It's like it'll either be really, really, really soft or it's every other word.
Interesting.
I think John likes the rocker songs because he can
You're
walk
asking.
around with that bass and swing it, and he gets really.
He's a great performer.
Oh yeah, great performance. I love that out of John.
So they're asking what your favorite performance is out of all the songs.
My favorite would have to be "Hold the Line." I love how it's so It has its dramatic increases, and it's just like when we're playing it, we're all just in the pocket, and
Yeah.
it sounds wonderful.
Yes.
Yeah, I think they agree with you on that, John. And I'd say I think Chad's is another one. I know he likes Walking in L.A. Chad isn't with us today, but if Chad was here, what would you say that his favorite would be? Chad, maybe Donnie, because Donnie. Now I don't know if I should be saying this is a little bit of gossip, but I've heard that Donnie is a bit of a drama queen.
I say every member in this band is a diva. I let them all know that,
Rightfully so,
because everybody's like, "Where's my water? Where's my set list? I want to stand over here." And so they're just like they give me a list. What I should do is carry a bag of Snicker bars and just here, you're acting like a diva. Calm down. I'll get you your water and your set list. We're going on in 5 minutes, so be ready.
Donnie knows what he likes, and that's cool and that's okay. But anything with the big guitar riffs, right? Anything with
he loves the rockers.
With the duo.
Yeah.
You guys harmonizing on the guitars.
Bad Company, Can't Get Enough of Your Love. We do harmony guitar solos together. He loves that. Anything where there's a guitar lick and he can just.
I think he likes Warrior because
Warrior
he likes
too?
Scandal. He
Yeah.
likes that band a lot, and
Yes.
he does the solos on the songs that we do by Scandal. We do Only the Lonely as well.
We do Hotel California. I love that song because. There's 2 guitars in there. Of course, we know the Eagles had 2 guitarists in there. And so Donnie and I, we get to switch off solos all throughout Hotel California. So that's exciting.
Yeah. I like Hotel California
Ask
too.
John what he thinks Chad's favorite song would be to play with us.
Can you hear them?
Oh
very well,
man,
John? He can hear
I barely heard Darlene. Chad's favorite song, man. I don't put words in his mouth, but I mean, Hotel California for sure. I think Walking Down LA, but I'd probably have to say One Way or Another might be one of his favorites.
No, I agree with that. One way or
Because
another.
That's a Blondie
It's a
song.
classic.
I wonder if your listeners know that all these bands, because a lot of the young people they don't even know who the Beatles are. Or,
Oh no, trust me.
all of this. It seems to be fading away.
It's not. It's
No?
not. Believe it or not, it's not fading away. Because every single time I bring in a new DJ, they're always saying the same thing. That is, this is the music I grew up with. So
Yes.
it's because of you guys. You guys are educating them.
We want to keep it alive.
No, the
you
people
know.
aren't gonna let it die.
Yeah.
There's always a new artist that's trending.
Well, a lot of the new movies that come out, they have music playing in the background. I go, hey, wait a minute, that's a classic rock song. They choose these songs like it's a modern movie, done today, and they're using all the old songs in the background. I think that's wonderful.
Yeah, I do too. One of the things that I don't like though is I feel like the new generations are definitely going to destroy it because they're going to overplay it, or they're going to misunderstand, or they're going to try to put their own spin on it.
Yeah.
They're not going to honor it, and there's just moments. There's this word called cringy. I don't know if you know what that means. What cringy means.
Oh, yeah.
When they do it, they're cringy as
Yeah.
hell. And I know you guys. I don't trash talk my DJs, but there are some DJs that come in and they think they know about the Beatles, but
Okay.
they don't know a single thing, and they talk out their butt. You can't say cuss words on air. I know that we're all aware of that. However, those shows I play seldom. I'll play them once, but there are other people that are educated and they school me, someone who's been in this industry for 10 years almost. They tell me stuff that I didn't know. No, something that I did know was I guess people think that Paul McCartney died and then was replaced with a doppelganger.
Oh,
I
I've
don't know.
heard this conspiracy theory.
Oh, yeah.
And my sister loves the Beatles, and that is one of the things that she was really hammered about. Like, she was like, no, man, you gotta watch this documentary. I watched it, and I have no idea what she's talking about. I literally don't know what she's talking about.
People come up with the People come through the wildest ideas.
I think the reason why you can't, can you hear Darlene? I think the reason why is because this console, it connects the computer, everything that's coming from the computer and everything's coming from the newsroom, but there isn't anything connecting the newsroom to this computer. However, I think you're hearing it through the headphones, maybe. Hey, Darlene, say something. I want to know.
Hey, check 1, 2. You're hearing it through the headphones, maybe?
Than what it has been.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, it's definitely coming from my headphones.
Okay.
So I think you can kind of make out what they're talking about. Just chime in. I'll reiterate. But that's
Okay.
Radio is so old. It's not meant for Zoom.
I know, right?
But I made it work.
You're trying.
It work.
Yep.
And my professor was against it. But I've done 3 interviews so far this method. And I just haven't been able to get anyone actually in the newsroom because, he's been saying, like, not until both microphones work. I'm just like, but it looks cool.
Let's try it. Let's give it a go.
Well, I'm proving him wrong by having you guys in there right now. But we are going to be getting a lot of construction on this room in here because we installed this. And Promise Day's coming up with all these high schoolers, so it's going to look so awesome when we're done with that.
Mm-hmm.
They have 2 microphones in there. One of them is behind that monitor right there, but this one is the one we're using today. And so back onto the questions I want to get onto. I wanted to ask if there have been any other band members. Please give us all the tea.
All the tea.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Tell us everything. Tell us all the gossip, all the things that you probably wouldn't want to say if they were around.
Uh-oh. They may
We're
listen
all adults.
to
We
this.
can say what we want.
Yes, you're on the radio. Hey, man, they're gone. You don't have to talk about, but I would like to know everyone. It's people that, not maybe recent, but in the very past. Anyone that you guys just are very happy are no longer here.
There's been quite a few.
Tell us.
But I expect every band member to improve. And so you're a year in with Rock Odyssey, you're a much better player because I'm going to challenge everybody with new material. So we're working on new stuff from Tom Petty. We're going to bring in more songs here in the recent future. We're also thinking about doing some original music. That's been talked about. So, but we have a song list right now that's about 125 songs. My goal is to get the band to 300. Once we know 300 songs, there's going to be somebody out in the audience say, "Hey, play Freebird, man! We're gonna knock that out,"
Amazing.
And so we want to be able to play 1 or 2 songs from every band that existed between the 70s and the 90s that's in the rock category. Just 2 songs, whether it's going to be the Cars or it's going to be Foreigner or whoever it might be. And then we're thinking about even maybe going modern a little bit, playing some Bruno Mars.
No,
I've heard a lot
don't
of
play
people
Bruno
talk
Mars
about
is
that.
so overplayed.
Yeah, it is.
But at least, the 90s
we need
stuff.
more stuff like, more No Doubt and some garbage. And, Darlene is an amazing vocalist. And, there's songs that she can just kill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We played some.
But we got to cover them.
We played some school reunions and private parties. We want to do weddings. So, in weddings, they're going to want to hear the Bruno Mars and they're going to want to hear.
Just a couple of those.
If you're going to throw it in, you might as well.
But I will say that, with David, who happens to also be my dad, people hear that. They hear him talk about, hey, we want 300 songs in our repertoire. We want to be able to play these songs well and professionally and sound as close to the original as possible. That's really intimidating for a lot of musicians. And I remember in the beginning, a lot of musicians just really didn't believe him. They're like, okay, sure. Yeah, okay, that's a nice dream you have. That's
rude.
Great.
That's rude.
But it was like they didn't have the belief in what we're trying to do in the vision of Rock Odyssey. And so they just didn't have the drive to really learn the songs like we do, the passion to really learn it. And so some of them just decided to walk away. But when they hear, hey, we want to play outside the area, we want to play weddings, we want to play in the Bay Area and Santa Barbara, wherever we can go, we want to go. They're kind of like, yeah, I don't know about all that, you know? So,
Right.
so it didn't, so those people kind of whittled out because they weren't really that dedicated or necessarily wanting to do that much work, because it is work, but it's also a love for the music. So I think, this version of the band we have right now is my favorite. I feel like we all gel together. All have the passion, and we all want to learn, and we all want to push each other. And I think the dynamic of that personality in the band is helpful. And we haven't always had that, but I think now we do. So it's really exciting.
Yeah, sorry, 1 second. I just gotta screw in the microphone. What do you think
no
about that, John?
Well, I mean, Darlene is right. This is you either got to have the passion and drive to want to do this, or you don't. And I think it's like a dance, and without the right partners, things just fall apart. People step on feet, but I definitely love the dynamic that we have now. Hasn't always been like this.
Yeah. Can
But,
I mention the previous band member? Do we not want to? I won't say anything. I'm not gonna say anything.
Say whatever you want. Hey, but I just thought another
There's been a
thing.
few.
I've been putting in everybody's ear, getting out of this area, down to Santa Barbara, up to San Francisco, maybe play Reno and Vegas. But also, this is the biggest one on my list, playing on a boat cruise. I want the band to go out together, get on a ship for 10 days on a ship, play shows, twice a day, and really rock it, And I want to develop a show that's Rock Odyssey, where we're going to play early rock and roll songs and then bring you up to modern day. So rock is really transitioned, and we're going to add instruments, we're going to add vocalists. So yeah, I'm sort of working on that, and I really want to put together a set list for that takes you from early rock and roll to modern day, and then just present it in a show format where there's some talking and there's some narration and so on, and it's going to be an odyssey of rock and roll.
I think that the passion, the drive, the chemistry that I've mentioned before that you guys have, that's special. Especially, you can't find that in any other band. It's so rare you find those in bands. They're all doing the same things, playing the same 4 chords. But you guys are classic. Classic is in your name, isn't it? Classic is in the name. And something that I also have been wanting to know, not the audience doesn't know this, but you guys actually don't. You practice at home. And then you come together and you just know your part, and then you just play it. Now,
Yes.
how the heck do you do that? Are you just that good? You're just that good. That always confused me. I went to their band practices because I was their intern, and I was, I would ask them, so when do you guys actually, tune and, do all that stuff? They're like, oh, no, we already know our part. And then they just went into it. I was just like, you're just flawless. I didn't hear any issues, but you guys were hearing them, and I've been a recording artist for years, and I didn't even hear this. So what the hell? Oh, H-E double hockey
I give
stick.
them homework. I
give
give them
them?
homework. I'll send them a chart, and I'll say, okay, we've got a new song coming up. We're going to play it on this night. So I'll email them all the charts, and they'll look at the musical charts. They'll learn their parts. And when we come together, we hash it out, and then we add it to the set list. And then eventually we add it to the live set list, and we'll play it live. That's always exciting because you never know how a new song is going to go over. And we played a new song by Styx.
Oh, yeah, Blue Collar Man.
Blue Collar Man. I remember we played it there at Avila Beach. And I told the audience, hey, this is our first time doing it live. Tell us what you think. And we went into Blue Collar Man. When we were done, everybody was like cheering, like, yeah. And it went over so well. I just love that song.
One of the songs that you did, because I was there at Avila Beach. For those that don't know, they did a show at Avila Beach. It was for an old man who heard them play somewhere else, and he could not go with his birthday party without having them.
He's turning 75.
I know, it was so cute
He was
because he
retired.
had to have them. And the tiny setup, it was like a wedding. It was literally pastels, pinks, and everyone was just really nice. Like they were going to church. They were all very well off. Very, very, very nice country club. And it's just us at the corner of the room dressed in black and it has all these lights. Looks like a rock concert, but if you took it and minimized it a little bit. But they came in, at first they were like, oh my God, a rock band. Well, this is supposed to be a nice event. But give them a couple of glasses of wine and all the girls are up on their feet dancing too.
That's right.
Well, it's like girls just want to have fun.
We had the lights going. We had the fog machine going right in the middle of their retirement party, or this guy's birthday party. He's a retired lawyer. They had fully catered. Everybody was all dressed up. And all of a sudden, this rock band shows up. We're all tucked in like sardines in a corner, of this country club venue and room, and man, we rocked it, and everybody had a great time.
What I love about that is his daughters reached out to us via Instagram and said the only thing that their dad asked for his birthday was to have Rock Odyssey play. And I'm like, guys, we got to do this gig. I don't care if you have plans or not, but we are playing for this man's 75th birthday. We're making it happen. It just felt really special that he had seen us before and really fell in love with us and our sound and what we have to offer, and really wanted us at his birthday party.
I may have a solution.
What?
So my lovely manager and wife is watching everything. So she just brought her laptop in and she's watching it. So now I can probably hear their questions. So that way I'm not jumping over them.
Oh, well, actually, you haven't been jumping over anyone so far. For the audience, it looks all good on my end. And the only thing that really matters is that the audience can hear. I know that you guys really, you're kind of going in and out, but if we get the recording and if the listeners can hear you talk, then, it's for the listeners. They want to know about Classic Rock Odyssey. And you guys talk about this stuff every day, so you kind of know what they're saying, because you guys... Anyway, so they had, diving into more of the tea, they had
I feel like I should have my own tea.
Yes, I will warn you, though, there's when you're listening to the stream, there's a bit of a delay, like a couple of seconds, so you'll be able to hear what they have said. And you could probably tell right now that you're hearing, it's because... Twitch and OBS, and it's an issue. But it's not my issue. You're going to have to talk to the software company. I do want to talk about Michael. He was a part of the band before. He is no longer a part of the band. Now, I love Michael, such a sweetheart, and, he's very nice. But I guess it just wasn't the right fit, and you guys decided to move forward with Brian. I love Brian. He is so cool. It reminds me of my Uncle Brian, actually. I have an Uncle Brian. And they are both just like rock. He's such a sweet guy. And he's also very funny, very charismatic. But then he goes up to the microphone and he just starts going. And he does, what's the song that's his song? It's this one song I cannot imagine. It's like the Summer of 69. Summer of 69. His voice is so cool.
Well,
So cool.
Michael's kind of been put on what they call the practice squad in football. He's if something were to happen and Brian couldn't make it, Michael's ready to jump back in. If we were to go do a boat cruise and Brian couldn't make it, we don't want to cancel the boat cruise. We got a few players that play with us that are what we call fill-ins. And the band doesn't like it sometimes when they're replaced by a fill-in. But we don't want to cancel a gig, and especially when we put it on the books and then something's come up. And I've had bass players fill in, and I've had drummers fill in, and so on. So Michael's kind of he's there. He's willing to come in and sing with us, but we want to give Brian a shot at our lineup this next season. We want to work with Brian and get him out front. He's a good singer. So is Michael, but we feel that Brian meshes really well with a lot of the members, and we want to give him a try too.
Yeah, and I when Michael did the overdub, I could tell he was really into it, but he made some changes without telling you guys that he was going to. And when you guys listened to it, you didn't really like his changes. I don't think that he's a bad musician. I think that there's an actual chemistry there, and if he had been the right fit, then he would have already known what you wanted instead of just doing what he wanted. And some of the songs are just for Darlene's voice, and he really wanted to kind of, push you out of the spotlight, if I were to say anything. And again, this is controversial, and we love Michael. Michael was
We have
polite.
a lot of controversy in this band.
I've heard
we've had
quite a bit of
people.
controversy.
I ask everybody to show up dressed in the '80s. Give that '80s look. And so we've had a lot of controversy with people showing up, and it doesn't look like it's the '80s. It looks like it's outer space.
Yeah.
But I will say, with going to Michael, like when I first started, this is the first band I've ever been in, and I didn't have a lot of experience necessarily with performance. I just love to sing. It's just something I've always loved to do. And so Michael helped me a lot in the beginning, just understanding how to put things together, harmonizing. And I was in choir all my life. I played piano. I grew up around music with my dad being a musician. But I didn't have the confidence in the beginning. And so I think Michael really helped with that, with just me taking chances and kind of stepping out of my shell a little bit and pushing myself and challenging myself. But I think that there was a point, as far as both of us as artists, that's where we didn't quite align. I think we both had the passion for singing, and we both loved the music, but the type of artist that I kind of wanted to be and the direction I was going in was different than his direction, and I think we just didn't gel, in that way. I kind of equate it, like John said earlier, like you have two dancers, and you have different styles, or athletes on a team that are trying to work together. It's kind of the same type of chemistry. You need this type of chemistry. So I think at the beginning it really worked, but we just kind of grew in different directions. And so now I want to continue to grow, and I feel like I can do that with Brian.
And that's happened a lot in other positions, like our keyboardist, Chara, came in and filled in. And is a much better keyboardist than our previous keyboard player. Chara is classically trained, and she plays very well. I think you're going to hear it on one of the recordings that we did during this show. And then Chad, that his drumming is excellent. He's replaced other drummers that I had to make a decision to replace. Why do you want to do that? Because if there's no energy there and it really impacts the performance, I really have to think about changing the lineup. And I've done that in bass, I've done that in keyboards, in drums, and now with the lead vocals. And so, that ultimately that's my call. But I get a lot of feedback from people and say, it's time for a change, because we want to continue to get better, put on a better show, and learn more songs. And if somebody can't do that, then it's just time to move on.
Yeah, I think you guys have made some good memories. And, it always sucks when you have to swatch out, but people do grow and they change. And I think that it is actually kind of touching that you have this parting. It's kind of like saying goodbye to an old family friend or childhood friend. You just outgrow things. And I see friends of mine I don't talk to, at some point they meant the world to me, and it's okay. I get it. Life goes on. I've made new friends. But I do want to know, what made you decide on Michael to begin with? Where'd you meet him?
Well, Michael was playing for another band called Sound Investment, and I recruited him into Rock Odyssey. The original male singer, who worked with us for about almost a year, decided to step out, and he was starting a business, or he was investing, and he didn't have time. And I had gone to several of Sound Investment shows, and Michael was playing bass and singing lead vocal and backup vocal. And I said, Michael, why don't you join Rock Odyssey? I need a lead singer. And he stepped right into the position. It really helped us out. He's a vocal coach. He helped in our vocals. He helped with some arranging. Really helped in stressed tempo, We practiced to a metronome. We really got our timing down. So Michael came in and had a lot of experience, really helped us in that area. Just like a lot of the musicians, they bring in a lot of talent into the band. A lot of them talk about our look, our impression, the show, the energy, the flow. There's so many things that need to happen to put on a good show. Practice.
That's true.
Serious practice.
You know, one thing that Michael really needed was the lyrics on the screen, and you guys purchased that projector for that reason. Hey, Dave, get a little bit closer to Darlene. I want to be able to. There you go.
Is that
nice? Oh my gosh, we love that.
We're
We love
too
that.
far apart.
Just a little bit.
Oh, okay.
There you go. Oh, perfect. Stay there. I
Okay,
just want to
we'll
make
stay
sure
like
that you
this.
guys can both be seen.
Just
The
like in
cam-
a Rock Odyssey show, sometimes when we play in a small
We
venue,
have to be like.
we're like sardines, and I'm afraid to hit somebody with my guitar.
But I want to include John. You know, John was with us in the beginning when we first started gigging in 2017, 18, 19, in those years, and was with us and then left and came back, and it's just been so great to have him back.
Yes.
So maybe we could talk to John a little bit about his coming return to Rock Odyssey.
Yeah, so tell us about that, John. I guess your return. They want to. And can you hear? Did
The
you hear
prodigal
them?
bassist.
Yes.
He has returned.
Yeah, so you know,
Welcome back.
I love playing with Rock Odyssey, but as Darlene said, you know, my dad got real sick, and so
that's
I
sad. I'm sorry.
needed to focus on spending time with him and just trying to make things easier, simpler for him and my mom. And when he passed away, I just kind of like lost passion for everything. Like usually
Oh, my
music is my
God.
go-to for everything. And I just couldn't play anymore. Like every time I'd go to pick up any instrument that I have here in my room, you can see partially behind me, it was just painful. You know, my dad was a big proponent in me learning how to play music, and you know, sticking with that craft. And with that part of me gone, it was really difficult for me to want to play. I give really my wife the credit here because she gave me that push to get back into music. You know, started doing some solo stuff, and then I got reached out by Darlene and by Donnie to say, hey, you know, are you still interested in wanting to play? And
Oh,
it's like,
John,
yeah, sure, why not? You know,
I'm
so
so
it just
sorry that you went through that. We are here for you, and losing a father figure is never easy. I lost my godfather when I was 19, and I was never the same after that because he was a father figure to me. And I actually sometimes I like to think that he's still in his house just to get by. I don't know if that'll help you. Just convince yourself that he's still there and you could still say hi to him, you know? Like, he's a phone call away. And, you know, I believe that
yeah.
the dead can hear you, so he can feel that you love him and miss him. And
You know, we went through about 8 bass players. You know, when John left, I just couldn't find the right bass player.
true.
You know, it was
you
so
have
difficult.
a destiny, John, and that is with us
Yeah.
here at Rock Odyssey. They went through eight bass
We
players. They
went
could
through
not
so
replace
many
you.
bass
Whoa.
players. You know,
8 bass players. They could not replace you.
so,
I didn't know it was 8. Jeez,
yeah,
guys.
it's a lot of bass players. But you know,
They could
we
not.
we had a gig
Well,
coming up.
I don't plan on going anywhere until David says you're fired.
Yeah.
Oh,
But out of the blue, you know, I decided, and Donnie and Darlene had mentioned it. How about John? How about, you know? And I thought, okay, I'm gonna give it a shot. I didn't know he was ready. I didn't know if he was ready or what, and I did. I reached out to him, and he rejoined the band. Thank you, Jennifer.
yes. Thank you to your wife Jennifer. That's her name? Yes.
Yep.
He's they thanking her for allowing you to come back. And you know they had focused on you. You were the one. They needed you, and so they're really thankful that you decided to come back. And, I'm happy that you did, because then I wouldn't be able to interview you, John. You are talented.
Yeah,
I got
you.
this really cool picture of you when we were live at Cottonwood Canyon. It is the coolest picture I've seen. And I was actually editing on my computer, and my DJs were like, "Who is that?" I was like, "That's the guy I'm interning for."
We're returning to Cottonwood.
You look so cool.
We're-
It's just the amount of angst that classic rock needs.
Yes.
And your story is so impactful, especially to our listeners who are going to be hearing Walk in LA at the end of this interview. And we have a lot of time, so don't worry. But I also want to know, what was it that helped you get by? And do you think, John, that your pain that you experienced was a catalyst that helped launch yourself back into music? Was music your cure? Was music the way that you let that out? Do you think you can connect with your dad through music? Is there songs that you play that remind you of him? Is it hard for you to keep going? Because I know you were choking up a little bit. And, I'm just so impacted by that, because I didn't know that you struggled with that. I get it.
Yeah.
It's ironic because my godfather really loved classic rock. He loved Tom Petty and he loved Cat Stevens, and here I am interning for you guys. So go ahead and tell us about that. Tell us about how you were able to use music and that passion to kind of work through it. Go ahead and tell us.
Well, I'd say, I start every other day. I try and pick up my guitar or my bass and try and do something, and just I strum a couple things here and there, but I just set it back down. Just what didn't feel right. And I'd say probably about a good year afterwards, my wife was just like, why don't you play me something, and first song that I picked up on my acoustic and I started playing was My Hero from Foo Fighters, and I, the way I do it is a little kind of broke down and real slow. And I was like, you know what, I can do this again, and we had some friends who had a wine bar in Orchid, and they were doing open mic night. And so she's like, you should do it. So I put a couple songs together and got up there and, kind of told the story a little bit and played the song. Got, people were clapping and cheering. I was like, going, okay, well, this is cool. I think I can get back into this now. So started playing again, and then had to go back to my musical family because I, don't want to say this out too loud, kind of missed all of them. Even Donnie.
Yeah.
Well, you gotten some laughs from the crowd. I'm so happy that you're back with us, John. And I can see that you're choking up. Are you okay? Hanging in there, man?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man, you're so strong. An inspiration for all of us. And I think that this drive that you had and this determination must have really helped the band. Coming from 8 bassists and feeling discouraged, and then having you step in the door and with this, I'm ready to get back into it. That must have been the moment. Now, how amazing, how satisfying was that show? Tell me about how great that was to finally have you back.
It's a good feeling to look over and see John's back on stage with us.
You said it's a good feeling.
Yeah.
Feeling.
Totally. It was definitely awesome. Being surrounded by like-minded musicians who just, we this is something that we love, and we put our heart and soul into it. I'm like I said earlier, I'm glad that we have the dynamic that we have now, because how I see it, sky's the limit.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, and I think that your band members also agree. There's a couple of questions because we do have an hour, and we can go over an hour, by the way, because I like to break the rules. I make the rules, so I can break them anytime I want to. So you guys take as much time as you want. We can also edit things out, but this will all be online, so deal with it, everybody. Standardly, they are an hour, but I have been known to do an hour and a half show before because I like to chat. So I want to get into these questions that I've always wanted to ask you. Now, so also, your personal lives. You dove into, your wife and things like that. I want to know about because your fans are going to be listening to this. I want to know about your hobbies. Tell me about, your inspirations, childhood memories. And after that, tell me, are you going to be releasing anything original? Are you going to be releasing any songs that you guys write together? That is one of the, I want to know, and I know that they want to know, because we covered all those. And also, do you plan on touring? Those are the questions that I have for you. Tell me about your hobbies and a day in the life of you at home. And are you going to be releasing anything that is just specifically Classic Rock Odyssey, no covers?
Yes, I think so. That's in the works. It's been talked about, but we're all working. Everybody works. We all have jobs. This is our hobby, playing rock music.
Right.
We all have family, children. I have a business. We're working, and then we book our gigs during the weekend. Sometimes we're able to play during the week if we can get time off. Yeah, we want to tour. We want to get out there. We want to do short mini tours, what I call is a week out and back, and everybody take some time off. What else, Darlene?
That's one of the things I say in all of our live shows, that we're all local Central Coast band. We all live and work right here on the Central Coast. It's our home. It's where we love to be, raising our families here. So yeah, this is our hobby. Like, music is a hobby, but for me, I consider myself an artist. It goes much deeper for me. I've loved music since I was a kid. I've always listened to the radio, so this is pretty cool.
Yeah, I know.
I'm on the radio.
Yeah,
which is pretty sweet.
We've been here since 1973, actually, and this building itself has been here since 1963. When Bob Hartwig came in, he turned this place into a radio station, and we were 101.7, but we are getting a radio tower soon. Yay! Because the college finally listened to me, and they're willing to hear us out. So I gave them my budget, and we're gonna hear back. And it's gonna be right on top of this building. It's gonna be very tall. You won't be able to miss it from the highway. And so this will actually be on the radio. You are on the radio.
That is so exciting.
A registered radio, by the way. So, but you are finally on the radio. That must feel amazing, Darlene.
Oh, it does. I had many nights as a kid where the radio was my outlet to the outside world. It was how I stayed connected to kind of what was going on out there. And I had my favorite morning shows I'd listen to, and then my favorite shows at night that I would listen to, and just keeping up on all the artists. I'm very much into pop, like top 40. I always have been, but I also have a love for classics from my mom. She introduced me to like Patsy Cline and Dolly Parton when I was younger, and Patsy Cline is actually my number one top favorite artist or singer. She was the first voice I ever fell in love with. Just listening to her voice is so strong, and it's so clear, and she has so much emotion, and she can change kind of her personality with her voice. She can be a little honky-tonk country, she could do ballads, she could do lots of different things. That was my first introduction to like, wow, she's really communicating and connecting and having these emotions. But then my mom also introduced me to like Aretha Franklin, and I fell in love with her voice. That was like the second voice that I listened to. I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. But on the radio, I kind of kept up with things that are, modern throughout modern times as I grew up. And I just studied voices. I just love, especially female singers. Really just, I would buy their CDs or I would buy them on cassette, and I would just listen to them like over and over and over, all my favorites. And I just had this love and passion for singing, and I just always loved it. And even just the intricacies of voices harmonizing together and working together is just what I love. But my day-to-day life, I actually work here at Cuesta.
Yeah, I know. That's actually where I met Darlene, and the internship that I started with you guys. was when I was working with Career Connections over there. That was quite a trip. And I know you guys, people think that I ghosted you. I'm sorry, I did not. I didn't. I just, over here at the radio station, I'm doing a 6-person job by myself. And usually I have a team, but, it's just so hard for people to want to do all the things I put up with. So I've been having to do it myself. But I do a pretty good job, considering I'm 26. And so when I got the internship, I was doing recording arts, and that was last semester. And it was my final project with George Stone. And he actually presented to us the ability to do this internship. He said whoever wants to apply. A lot of students applied, but since I already knew you, Darlene, you decided to go with me, and I ended up bringing in for the band that I chose the one that George brought in for the internship. He was like, hey, if you guys want to do an internship that's here, and sure enough, I ended up bringing that in for my final project.
Right.
So I looked a lot better than the other students because I brought in the internship he told us about, and also that was my band. And my professor gave me an A because my portfolio was the most detailed. And also, one of the cool things is that Chris Bellman actually mixed and recorded for Tom Petty. And we did...
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I know. And Chris Bellman did a presentation to the class. We got to interview him. And he worked personally with Tom Petty on Wildflowers. And George thought my portfolio was so good that he sent it to Chris Bellman after.
Wow.
And so you guys have officially you've been seen by Chris Bellman, and Chris Bellman very much liked it. So when he
Nice.
he hasn't heard the final mixes, what I plan on doing is just be like, oh wait, hold on, Chris. Spotify. That's where you can find them. That's gonna be a big moment.
Yeah.
But he will be able to hear "Stop Dragging My Heart Around." I think that's pretty cool. And now, rest in peace, Tom Petty. But I grew up with his music, so it's also pretty cool that because Tom Petty was one of the first people that I played on this radio station, and also one of the first albums that I had when I got my first stereo, and I would always blast on the radio when I was a kid. I'd listen to Tom Petty. So things really come in full circle,
Right.
Yes, I think through Tom Petty we are all united. And I think it's pretty cool that the first band that I got to mix and record for my record label, which has just launched and officially been recognized, Atwood Records, has ended up being a Tom Petty song. My first album, something that you guys can all connect with.
Yep.
All of us together, radio, definitely, God is looking out for us. I feel like God, this is God's will, man. So that's my story, my little story about how all of this is just really awesome. Now, John, do you like Tom Petty? Would you say that you like Tom Petty, or do you prefer someone else? It's okay if you do.
Oh no, Tom Petty's hands down.
Yeah,
No,
I love Tom Petty.
He's definitely one of the greats.
Yeah, Wildflowers was my song. My family knows me as the Wildflowers. That's it. No, are you going to do something with Cat Stevens? I love Cat Stevens. You guys said you like Cat Stevens?
No, we're not.
No.
But I tell you what, when David Bowie passed away, we added a Rebel, and then Rebel, and then when Prince passed away, we added I Want to Be Your Lover and Purple Rain. So, when our heroes pass away, we want to keep their music alive. And so we're going to pick a couple of their songs to do in this band because they have done so much for us over the years, like Tom Petty and others, who have passed away. They've really impacted our lives. They impacted my life as a young man. I really enjoyed listening to the songs. And then in my early days in college, I was playing in top 40 rock bands, and so then music got away from me for a while, and my career kind of took off. But like I said, in 2015 I said, I'm going to have me some fun, and I put together this band, and I shopped around. I looked on the internet. I found a website called Bandmix, and that's how I found Donnie Cadavallo, our current lead guitarist. And I found a drummer and a keyboard player and so on and so forth, and I built the band, and then Darlene joined, and we started doing shows in the backyard.
Oh, that's
you know?
crazy.
And we invited people. And we had a good audience. Our first couple of shows, well, we did one in our studio. We had a group of people came in, and we bought pizza. We supplied meals. You know, we had an intermission, and we went back, and we actually recorded that. We have it on video. And also we did the backyard. Well, it's a huge backyard. It's a ranch. And we put on a big show, had a sound system all set up, and went over really well, and said, hey, it's time to get out into the community out in Central Coast, and we started booking gigs, and we've done that since then.
That's outstanding. It's such a wild ride, and to think that you guys started in your backyard is absolutely crazy. You know, I started music a little bit when I was a kid, and I played the ukulele, and then I went into choir. I was going to be a composer, but I remember releasing my first single on Spotify, which I did recently. I remember just playing the ukulele when I was 18, and the bliss that I felt of not having any pressure of sounding good for anyone else, sounded good for me. That was nice. That's freeing. And you guys still have this backyard energy. You still have this friendly energy. There's no pressure of like having to conform to what other people do. And that's something that we need in the music industry. People are always caving to the same four chords because that's what's popular. And I actually had that pressure, but then I remembered how nice it was just to see you guys as a friend group just perform and be yourselves and not apologize, and people liking it because people really loved your shows. And so that really did help me. That helped me see that music is not just about, you know, like what other people are going to like. It's about what you like, and if you're having fun, then they will too.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun. I remember early on we had a drum platform, and I remember many a time after the song, you know, the song's going to end, I'd leap off the platform, and then the drummer would hit the last beat of the song, and I would hit the last strum. I'm getting a little older now, so I don't do much of that. But I do the kicks in the air. I love doing the kicks. You know, I'm playing the guitar and I'm kicking up in the air.
Oh, yeah, see that. You guys like to walk around too, so you need if you're gonna be on a big stage, you guys are gonna need a big stage. You know, you're gonna need a lot of room to be able to interact with the audience, and that's what's something I think is very special and unique about the Rock Odyssey is that you like to get the audience going. And by the way, you whip out a harmonica sometimes.
I do.
How's that? Wait, I wasn't expecting it. You never brought it up before, and I had known you for like almost a year by that point. And then I'm just mixing your song, and then you bust out a harmonica. I'm like, when was this? When was this gonna happen? Why didn't you tell me this was gonna occur? And so, like, when did you learn to play the harmonica? And also, I want to know your musical backgrounds. When did you guys start in music? Like, did you you grew up doing it, right? You guys all like music theory wise, because Darlene, you're so talented. You wouldn't believe it, but Darlene is actually an office building in a cubicle woman. When I first met her, I thought she was just a very regular, like, you know, those just Instagram mom. But then she comes out in full rocker chick, and there's an entire different side of her that nobody would have guessed. She is a woman of mystery. And so, tell us how you got from a cubicle to playing the harmonica on a rock stage, please. You need to clear this up for me.
Right. Well, I've been at Cuesta about 7.5 years now, which is, it's gone by really fast. But before I joined the band, I was actually playing roller derby in Santa Maria for Cal Skate Roller Derby. And that is actually how I met John and Jen, John, our bassist over there. And we actually played
roller
derby.
Roller derby.
Yeah. I just loved sports growing up too. Not only music, but I loved to be an athlete. And I just needed an outlet, and so I joined roller derby, and I was doing that. And then my dad decided, like, hey, I want to put together this band, and I've always wanted to be a singer. It's just something I was always passionate about. And so I asked him if I could audition, actually.
Wait, you weren't going
he
to
auditioned
consider
me.
You weren't going to consider your own daughter. You had to make her audition.
Yeah, everybody's got to audition.
Oh, David, for shame.
Shame, David.
I mean, I'm not surprised,
shame.
or it doesn't bother me because that's just how my dad is, and that's fine. And
I just
actually,
think it's funny that you've been here the entire time, but he still made you audition. Like, he doesn't already know how you're going to sound.
well, before that, I was pretty shy about singing and my voice. Like, I sang at home for fun and, like, in the shower and, like, things like that and in the choir. I did take like a musical theory class when I was in college, but it's not my background. I don't have a degree in music. It's just something that I've always loved. I did play piano, so I had, kind of the basics. I never took any voice lessons or anything like that until much later when I was in Rock Odyssey. And so at the time, at one point, I was playing roller derby and I joined Rock Odyssey. So my dad gave me a spot as the lead singer and I was like, sweet. I auditioned with 3 songs and I was proud of myself for that and just like putting myself out there. And then with Derby, I was also trying to get pregnant at the time to have my daughter, and I did end up getting pregnant, so I couldn't play roller derby. So that just gave me more time to dedicate to the band.
Oh, well, I'm really happy that you ended up having that child, because otherwise we wouldn't have you here. Do you ever just look at your daughter and you're like, you're the reason why I'm in a rock band?
I performed 4 shows pregnant. On the Central Coast. Yep. I was still out there singing.
The lore for Darlene keeps getting deeper. I swear, it's literally something new every day.
Yes.
I didn't know this absolute menace of a woman just was performing on a rock stage pregnant.
I was.
Can you believe that, listeners? Oh my gosh, where is my? I need an applause track right now. Hold on, let me pull that up. Tell us more, Darlene. Just here's the applause. Woohoo! Thank you, Darlene.
Yeah, so I can say, my daughter Gabriella has been with the band since, before she was born. She's been part of Rock Odyssey. And actually, she performed with me on stage on her birthday this past August at our show for Let's Make a Difference fundraiser in Santa Maria. She performed Warrior with me.
Oh my gosh. No, hold on. I need another applause for that.
It came full circle. So I really take a lot of pride in that and, sharing this with her. It's really a family affair. My husband, Christopher, is a huge supporter of the band. He actually does sound for us and supports me being in the band. So, I worked here at Cuesta, and I'm the volunteer services coordinator, and I joined College Corps. I was hired to coordinate College Corps.
I just want to mention, Jill Stern's office is actually right next to us. She's the dean of our college, and she's told us how much she loves my wacky posters out there. Walks past, she is going to hear this.
Yeah.
So your employers are listening to your secret life. I hope you're okay being exposed here, Darlene.
The president, Dr. Jill Stearns,
I love her.
Cool.
She's so sweet. She actually has really done everything she can for the radio station. Like, everything she can. She is putting her neck out there for us. We want to give a round of applause. I'm not going to play it, but thank you, Jill, and thank you, Darlene.
Well, I want to give others a chance. Thank you so much for letting me tell a little bit about my story. But
yes.
I love...
John, please tell us more about how you got into music. You have a lot of... from what I can see, they are guitar, basses in the background. Do you have names for those instruments? Here, the audience can see now.
No, only guitar players name their guitars.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No,
those
you
are my,
have. That's you. You
those
have.
are my babies
Wow,
right there.
that's a clown car of basses in the background. Wow, I can see
Oh,
them
yeah.
all right now. So, tell us the story. Like, which one is your favorite? Which one is your favorite that we're looking at right now?
Well, the one that's not up, that's missing in that spot right now because it's in the case, is my Warwick bass that I have. That's red. I love that bass. I love the feel of it. That's the one I mostly perform with. But I also have a little acoustic bass, which you probably can't see. Let's see right there.
I can see that.
Yeah, nice little 4-string that I like playing with. But mostly it's my guitar. It's crazy because my whole starting off with music, I started off with vocals and piano.
Really?
Believe it or not.
Were you a kid when that started? Were you a kid when that started? Did you start when you were younger?
Yes. I was in the 4th grade when I started playing piano and doing vocals, and Piano just mainly it was probably because my teacher didn't like her, and plus she smelled kind of funny. So I stopped
Relatable.
playing piano, and then I picked up the saxophone. And I played saxophone all through grade school, high school, college. But in high school, like I picked up playing guitar because like going, that sounds like a pretty cool song. I think I can learn how to do that. So had a teacher at school, and he always had this guitar sitting there like for the whole entire my whole entire junior year. He was like, take the guitar, learn how to play on it, just remember where it came from. So for a whole year, I played on someone's borrowed guitar, and finally my dad was like, okay, let's go get you one. So if you damage this one, we'd have to buy one anyway. So let's just go buy you your own. Um, and started playing, tried to put bands together, and we could never find a bass player. So I said, bass, it's only 4 strings. How hard can it be? You know?
Oh
Little did
man.
I know.
Oh my
you know,
gosh.
so
So wait, can you play any other instruments? Like, do you prefer the bass? Do you play guitar? Do you play saxophone? Or I mean, like, are you?
I can I can play saxophone. I can play
Oh,
bass. I can play guitar. I can
oh
play
my.
piano. I can do drums. I can do percussion.
Whoa.
I tried my stint at trying to do harmonica. Not that great. So nope. That's. But
You'll get
I'm
there.
currently working on. If I can grab it here without falling out of my chair, I'm working on ukulele.
Oh my gosh! Yay! Oh, I love the
Nice.
uke. Is that a baritone? That looks like a baritone.
I think so.
Yeah,
Yes.
the baritone is the bigger one, soprano is the smaller one. I have a baritone actually in my office, a custom made baritone. I love the ukulele. So, ukulele, if you know how to play the guitar super easy, you're probably already like smooth sailing on that. Like, how far are you along? Like,
Not that far.
really? So you just now picked it
Yeah.
up. You got it from the store
Yeah.
yesterday. Okay.
Well, what's funny is that so I have 3 kids. Two are at home, and our middle kid, Jacob, that's his.
Mm.
He started picking that up. He's like great on it. So he hasn't played it in a while. So I'm like, well, you know what? I'm gonna start just learning how to play this. So
Mm. Yeah, wow. So would you say that you want your children to go into this? Are you going to be mad at them if your kids don't go into music? Like,
no, I want
no.
I want them to follow their hearts and follow their passions. I mean,
Mm.
they love music. Well, whether they want to play it or just sit back and listen to it, I want them to create their own paths. They don't need to follow in my footsteps. I want them to follow into their mom's footsteps. It's their life. I want them to be able to live it how they see fit to live it. So, we're very supportive of following your dreams in our home. Just because you know sometimes you get some parents that just no, I want you to do this because this is what's going to make you money. This is what's going to do this. But deep down inside, that person's not being true and authentic to themselves. So that's what we push is be true to yourself. Don't conform to what one person's trying to put you in because not everybody fits in a box.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with that. If I had kids, I would want the same thing for them because your parents probably tried to put you down a pathway that they felt was great, and as generations pass, they start to ease up on those rules a little bit more.
Yep.
And so I also have a question here that I haven't asked yet. And this one is interesting. If you could go back in time and meet any celebrity, who would it be?
Oh,
Cool.
mine would be Eddie Van Halen.
Oh
Eddie
man,
Van
that's a
Halen.
tough one.
Eddie Van
Um,
Halen. What about you, John?
man, Jimi Hendrix.
Jimi Hendrix. He says Jimi Hendrix. I
Jimmy,
love Jimi Hendrix.
yes.
Yeah, I actually was. I grew up listening to Jimi Hendrix. Now that Hendrix I go way back because there's a lot of how you say surfers, aka stoners, in my family. So they're gonna love Jimi Hendrix. Of course, they're gonna be listening to Jimi Hendrix. Now, what about you, Darlene? Who would you go back in time for?
That's a really tough one. But I think probably from someone more recent would be Amy Winehouse.
Amy Winehouse.
I never had a chance to see
Yeah.
her live, and I really regret that. But yeah, she was just an amazing vocalist and artist. And
Oh, I
I'd love to
agree.
meet
I
her.
really wish I met Amy Winehouse. My sister looks a lot like Amy Winehouse, so I can't look at my sister without thinking about her. And she passed away when I was like a kid. I didn't even know about her. By the time we discovered her music, she was already passed, and it's just so tragic how she passed away and how people reacted to it.
Yeah.
That's just
Yeah.
unfortunate. If I were to go back in time and meet anyone, I would definitely want to meet Tom Petty. I would, if I could. And that was on my bucket list. When I found out he passed, I was devastated.
Yeah.
Anyways, so you guys, do you have merchandise? Are you working on merch? Where can we buy your merch? Rock
We are
Odyssey.
working on merch.
We have hats and shirts, but we just give them to our roadies and our fans. We give them away. But we will have merchandise, I think, in this next season, maybe next summer. And maybe we'll even have a recording. We're working on a lot of things.
Yeah, I have 3 recordings for you, 4 recordings. We can go back into the studio whenever you guys decide on the ones you want. So just let me know, and I'll talk to George, and you guys will go in there and blow his socks off. Because he was absolutely blown away. You are more than welcome to come back and record. We haven't really debuted all of the music. However, Walking in LA is on Spotify. We're going to be actually taking that off and then uploading the EP in full soon. So if you have been listening to them and saved them, that one is going to be taken down, and the full album is going to be, that's just 3 songs. Then Working for the Weekend is going to be released as a single in a couple of months, because we're still working on that one. We want to make sure it's perfect for you guys.
Yeah, sure.
And so
Awesome.
the 3 songs that we did that are, those ones that will be released, we just finished those today, and it was an honor recording for you guys and mixing for you guys.
It was so fun.
That's gonna be released. The EP, self-titled Classic Rock Odyssey, or what would you name your EP? We could decide now. Is it okay if we name the EP Classic Rock Odyssey?
I don't know.
I want to make that executive decision until, because you guys are going to release an album and then you'll be fine. So Classic Rock Odyssey, this is your final debut. Now, how old are my interviewees today? Tell us, we don't know really much about you. We know what are the ages here?
Well, I'm the oldest, so I'm 68.
68, wow.
I'm
Yeah.
Go ahead, John.
I just turned 50, so
John turned 50.
John turned 50. Yeah.
And I'm the youngest in the band. I'm 43.
Oh my gosh, you're the baby.
I'm the baby.
You're the baby.
Yep.
We take care of her. We protect her. She's precious. Although she could probably kick our butts, huh? Getting on that stage pregnant, that's absolutely insane.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was really fun.
I've seen her throw elbows, so yeah, she can handle herself.
And you know what's funny about that is the day, so my due date, Rock Odyssey had a gig booked. And I told David, I'm due that day. Like, I don't think I can actually.
Oh
like,
my gosh,
and
really?
so-
if you had given birth on that stage now, I would not be surprised.
My mom actually stepped in and did the show with Rock
Oh.
Odyssey because I was in labor.
We're not really hearing much about your mom. Where's mom today?
Yes.
Is she around?
Yes, she is.
Is
Yes,
she at home?
She is. She's in Arroyo Grande at the ranch. She runs her own daycare out there. She's been doing daycare for a really long time, is really dedicated to children and helping parents. She's very supportive of the band, very supportive of me, and supportive of my dad being in the band, and is, one of our biggest fans. She helps out a lot with my daughter, her granddaughter, and watching her and coming out to our shows when she can. So she is a huge supporter. I would say more in the background of things.
I see.
But definitely there, having a huge support for us in the band and all of our band members too. She's always there for them, and of course she loves Jennifer. She loves all the wives, she loves Jennifer.
The wives always come to the show, by the way. Donnie's wife is always standing awkwardly in the background, and I'm calling you out. I'm calling you out because everybody all agrees, especially Chad. Chad goes on rants when he drives me home because I carpool, and he's always going on rants. But like, why is she there? Why is she even there? Like, what's she doing? She's always like, just in case. Like, so the wives, they all congregate
do.
backstage.
They come to our shows when they can, and it's just like a cool community. They're supportive, and Chad's wife Helly, shout out to Chad, shout out to Helly. They are so awesome, and Helly's a big supporter of us too. So it's just so great that it's very much a family affair, and we all try to be here for each other.
Now, name all of the band members so that way the audience knows who's missing and who we're going to see on our next interview. Because, we got an entire lifetime, so you guys can come back. Right?
Yeah,
we're gonna get the entire band in here at some point.
So we have two singers,
Nice.
right?
Yeah.
So two singers. So it's myself, Darlene, and then Brian. So I've got a male lead and a female lead. Then we have two guitarists. So one here is David, and then the other is Donnie. So those are two guitarists. And then we have our bassist, which is John, who's here today. And then we have our drummer, which is Chad, who's not with us today. And then Chara, who's our keyboardist, who is not here with us today. So those are kind of like the
And
core.
then the sax player, Richard.
Richard,
So-
oh man, when Richard played the
Oh,
saxophone,
yeah.
I underestimated that man. He's so
He's
quiet
a
when he was
good
setting
player.
up.
He's a
But
great sax player.
he just started shredding on the saxophone, and I was blown away. And I was not prepared for that. But that was absolutely a trip. Cottonwood Canyon was amazing. And
Oh, yeah.
Chad is on a cruise right now, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's on a cruise
Alaska.
in Alaska.
Alaska. What's he doing in Alaska? What the hell is he doing there? Why isn't he with us today?
Drummers need a vacation too.
Yeah,
they work
he earned
real
it.
hard
He puts
back
up
there.
with so much, and he's been through a lot. A lot of the band members here, they've struggled with, addiction, and they've gone through so much, and they end up ending like I can't say the A word, but I can say bad butt.
Yep.
Hey, put your mind to work. What I mean.
The donkey.
But shout out to Chad. He works
Hi,
at Traffic
Chad.
Records downtown Atascadero.
Oh yeah, we have him to thank for half the records. He always brings
he
records.
brings
to
us
Oh, my
records
gosh.
every practice.
Oh, yeah.
giant piles of records back
He's
here, and that's
helping
because of Chad.
us. Yes, he's helping us create
Yep,
our
he is
vinyl.
slowly helping me rebuild my record collection.
Exactly.
So, yes.
Yeah, he's so great about that. But he's a super dedicated drummer. I'm so glad that he was brought into the band and decided to join the band. He's super passionate and is funny. He's hilarious. He's always got us cracking up.
He is really funny.
The one thing that's unique with our band and playing with Chad is that he plays an electric drum kit.
Oh, that is interesting. Yeah, we hadn't had those before when we had brought that into the recording arts department. My professor had never seen that before. I was the first one, and by the way, I know it won't be the last because it went amazing. Blew him away.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a great playing with electric drum kit. He can change the sound of the kit, depending on what song we're doing, which is really unique. And then we can control like the volume and all of that in our in-ears and in the mains, which is you can't do as much with an acoustic set. So yeah, it's really fun, and it's really a quiet stage when you play with us, but it's nice for all of our ears because we don't have this loud drum kit to compete with. But it is really different for a lot of folks when they come in to play with us or they come to see us, like, what is going on here? Why is it so quiet? But I really enjoy playing with the kit, and yeah, Chad's great. And then Chara, shout out to Chara. She's a great
we love you, Chara. She's so
keyboardist. We
sweet.
miss her.
Yep.
She just, she had to kind of take care of some health stuff. So,
Aw,
hey,
poor
Chara, we miss you.
Hi.
Hopefully she'll be back soon. And then Donnie, of course, has just been dedicated to the band since the beginning. So, hey, Donnie.
Hi, Donnie. Oh, I love Donnie. When you hear Walk In LA, you'll hear him shred on the guitar. Now that
Yep.
also, he came in for the overdub, and he's this really quiet guy. He works at a juvenile hall, a detention center, and he starts telling me about his life, and then boom, and he just starts going, and I really couldn't hear it because you guys were wearing the headphones, but I heard a lot of twanging, and it was very intricate, and then I mixed it, and I was just like, where the heck? You guys are shocking me. You wouldn't. The moral of the story is don't judge a book by its cover. That's for sure.
That is
Yep.
for
I
sure.
think. Go ahead, John.
Sorry, speaking of covers, I gotta take a quick
It's
the
fine.
part stage left so I can get a charger for my phone because
It's
I'm about
okay.
ready to die.
Yeah, actually, we are
Right back.
meeting time. So, John, if you want to step away, you can. Thank you so much for joining us. We will have Darlene and Dave close us out because I only got one more question in, and it is stuff that will close the interview naturally. So, thank you so much, John, for joining us. It was
Thanks,
so
John.
nice to have you, and we'll see you again on The Man Behind the Music. This is the man behind the bass. And it's just been such a joy. Thank you so much for appearing with us, and we will see you again.
All
It's
right.
been an honor. Thank you. All right, so
See ya.
bye.
See ya, John.
Bye. And so we're gonna close out that, and now we're gonna focus on you two, which is absolutely amazing to have you in here, actually physically.
Yeah,
That's nice.
it's great.
And so the questions that I have for you to close this interview out. And again, like you guys will come in here later on. It is, where can we hear your music besides KGUR? And also, what can we expect from Classic Rock Odyssey in the future? So when's your next show? Where can we see your next show? Where can we find your music?
Yes. So, of course, you can always find us on our website at classicrockodyssey.com. But our next show is November 2nd. It's a Saturday at Cottonwood Canyon Winery in Santa Maria from 5 to 8. You can find tickets for that on our website or on Instagram at Classic Rock Odyssey. You can find the post there, and there's a link to get the tickets. They're $10, but children under 12 are free. So if you've got kids, we want it to be family friendly. Bring the kids. The great thing about this venue, something that we're kind of trying out, is that they actually let us use the venue for free. But it's just up to us to sell tickets. So we're trying to make it just fun and affordable for families to come out and have a good time. They'll be serving their wine and their drinks, and they'll have a food truck there available too for folks to be able to order some food. And then after that, we're playing at the Atascadero Fall Festival, November 17th, 18th, and 19th, I believe. But we're not sure which night we're playing yet. They have over 30 bands that they are trying to schedule. Oh, so it's the November 15th, 16th, and 17th. We're hoping to get either the Friday, the 15th, or the 16th, which is the Saturday. Saturday night is like the primo spot. So we put in for that, but we're not sure if we're going to actually get it. But that's in Atascadero. They have vendors, they have beer, they have wine. It's just like a good
wonderful.
time in downtown Atascadero. They do a really great job. So we'll be playing there. So we are also on Facebook at Classic Rock Odyssey, so folks can find us there. But a new addition.
Go follow them.
Yes,
and
follow on
bombard
Facebook.
them with love and support. And if you
Yes,
guys don't, then I'm going to be
please.
disappointed, and I will know.
But also, what's brand new with your help, Nessie, is that our music's going to be available on all the platforms
Yes.
here pretty soon.
Yeah, it's going to be available on Spotify, on iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Google Music, Deezer, and also it's going to be available on iTunes. And by the way, you could actually get revenue for that. It says it's listed for 99 cents. So, I mean, it's a little pocket money. I'm planning on having them increase it to $2.99, if that's all right with you, per song. So for the album, it'll be $10.99.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so
That's
that's
pretty
for unless they're buying things on let's say have Apple Music, which they're purchasing, then for every play that you'll get commissioned for that. And so you'll so far we've actually had now I'll show you the analytics. 300 people have clicked on Walking in LA.
Wow, that's amazing.
That's on all platforms. Wait until they hear what we did today. They're going to be blown away when they
my
hear
gosh.
Straight On. And so what are the songs that they're going to be hearing? Tell us what we recorded.
Oh, yes. So we did Straight On by Heart, Walking in LA by Missing Persons, and Stop Dragging My Heart with Stevie Nicks, Tom Petty. So those are the 3 covers that we did. And then we're working on a 4th one with you. We'll hopefully bring that out soon, which is Working for the Weekend.
By Loverboy.
Oh my gosh, when I heard Brian perform that, I was absolutely blown away. See, the recording booth that you're sitting next to is where he's going to be blasting. The microphone that we have in there, this is the RE20 Superstition by Stevie Wonder, was recorded on that microphone.
Wow.
And because it's a male voice, those microphones are perfect for his voice, which is going to be, trying to get that raspy, that raw, he's going to need to be loud. So that microphone is actually the microphone I would have chosen for him anyways.
Nice.
And so that booth
He's
is going to
gonna
be
love it.
his, and hopefully he will knock our socks up, which he will. I actually I have another interview lined up on Monday with a musician that I've known for a couple years. However, I'm thinking Wednesday I could actually get him in. If not, we'll work it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. And one more question I have that will close this out, and then we're gonna listen to "Walking in LA." It
Okay.
is, if you had words to say to the world or to your fans that you've always wanted to say, you have the floor. What are you gonna say to the world right now?
Take time. Don't just work. Get out there into the community, enjoy music, dance, have a good time with your friends, build some memories, make some friends. That's what I said in 2015. I said, you know what? I'm going to get off this couch and I'm going to get out there and I'm going to have me some fun. And I've made friends, in auditioning, meeting musicians, and then our fans, the people that come out to see us. I mean, they're just great people. They come out, they give us hugs, we take photos with them, we post them on our website. I mean, it's just wonderful just to connect with the community. I want to say this: have fun. Don't just work.
That is such a good sentiment. That is very inspirational to especially uprising musicians that are going to be looking up to you guys. That you are mentors now officially. Now, Darlene, what would you like to say?
I would say that you're never too old and you're never too young to be an artist. If
That's
you are
true.
an artist, you are an artist, and you can follow your heart and follow your dreams. I love this quote. I forget who it's by, but I always think of it, and it's never too late to become what you might have been. So if you want to pick up an instrument, do it. If you want to sing, sing. If you want to join a band or start a band or write music, just do it. And don't let your age or anything like that limit you, but just to go after it, because if you have something to say and it makes you happy and you want to have fun with it, then you should do it and not let...
And it's not just music. You could be an athlete, you could be an actor. In fact, my daughter, her sister, Deborah, is an actress. She's played in
nice.
Obi-Wan Kenobi, the
Oh my
series.
gosh, really?
So,
we did. Oh my gosh,
shout
you guys
out
know
there to
celebrities?
Deborah Apodaca.
Yeah, my
Wow.
sister.
She's
Hi,
done
Deborah.
commercials, and
Hi, Deborah.
so whatever you want to do, whether it's music, acting, or being in sports, whatever it may be, just step out and do it.
Absolutely. This is such a joy to have you guys here. Thank you to Deborah and all of your inspirations. It was just so nice having you on, the man behind the music. And so these two are the people behind the Classic Rock Odyssey. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, bye-bye. Say goodbye to Darlene.
Goodbye.
Is there anything else you guys want to say? Anything else you want to add? Just
Thank you, Nessie, for having us.
We hope to
You're
see you at
welcome.
our shows.
Please
come
do
out and
come
see
to the
us.
shows.
Love to have you.
We're going to have them back in a couple of months. This next song that I'm going to be playing for you is a spoon of what you're going to be hearing. It is Walking in LA by the Classic Rock Odyssey. Again, thank you for joining us on The Man
you.
Behind the Music.